Today we are doing something a little different than the last few videos, but one of my, I guess, theories about Modern and about Magic right now is that it's really good to have a backup deck. If you go into tournaments, you got your main deck that you play, like you got your main character, like you always play Kirby in Smash Brothers, and it's good to have a backup deck when you feel like it's not going to work out with your main deck. So, the other deck that I play every once in a while in Modern is Burn. It's a complete departure from the Jund style. Um, it's completely proactive, trying to interact as little as possible rather than the opposite. The list that I play is a little different, but mostly I really like Wild Nacatl, and I really like Atarka's Command. I feel like the amount of damage that you get to do with those cards are a lot higher than the amount of damage you get to do with just the red and white version, with like skull cracks and just like more face burn spells. Um, we've got so because we've got a Tarkus command, we want to amp up on creatures because if you give your creatures +1/+1, then it's like an additional burn spell. If you're attacking with three creatures and you Tarkus command and deal three and give your stuff +1/+1, then uh, it's busted. And so we've got the four Goblin Guys, we've got four Swift Spears, we've got a single Grim Lavamancer, the Wild Nacatls, and four Eidolon of the Great Revel. So we're a creature-heavy build for sure. 17 creatures in the deck. We've got Lava Spikes, we've got Lightning Bolts, we've got Rift Bolts, okay. The sideboard is a little bit of an experiment. We got Relic of Regeninus for good graveyard hate. Let's save those for later. A single path. I really just don't like path in this deck. I always beat when I'm playing Jund and somebody paths my creature. I always just win because of it. But I don't know. People swear by it in this deck, so we've got one in there. Destructive Revelry, just super good. Also, I mean, like lots of times people have Leyline of Sanctity, and you got to get rid of that thing. A couple Ancient Grudge for some more artifact hate. A third Searing Blaze, and a couple of Searing Blood that come in against any creature matchups, humans. I guess it's probably even good against Affinity, stuff like that. The Mirror. Um, all right, and we're also trying out some Bloodbraid Elf. I was in playing this deck. I've been looking for a card that um, is good against like the Mirror and against Jund, and it's just like a 2-for-1, like a card that you can draw that a card that you can draw that's just more damage than a normal other card you could draw. Just like amp up the amount of damage per card in your deck. So Bloodbraid Elf does that because it's usually going to hit something like a Bolt or a whatever in Artarka's Command, something. Pretty much everything in the deck deals damage, so most of the stuff that you hit with Bloodbraid is going to deal damage. And it's a 3/2 haste, so it's just a good card. We're trying to Loxodon Smiter. This is a little silly, but I just really want to get it into play off of Kolagon's command. Also, a 4/4 for 3 mana is just really good in the mirror. You just play it and they can't attack you anymore. And yeah, a couple of Relic of Progenitus. So we're gonna give this a whirl. Burn is pretty sweet. It's really fun, really fast games. Really lots of lots of aggression. It's great. We'll be back for round one in a sec. Okay, we're here for round one. I'd love to play first. Let's get rid of this thing. Hand looks fantastic. Love it. You'll notice that we have Copperline Gorges in the deck. That's because with Wild Nacatl, like your best draw is like Copperline Gorge and a fetch land. You really want to get Sacred Foundry. It doesn't make a lot of sense to go Inspiring Vantage and a Stomping Ground because your Wild Nacatl only gets +1/+1 that way because you need to have a plains in play to maximize the Nacatl. Mulligans to 6. Pretty good chance that their top card is a land, so we undo their mulligan, but that's okay. Maybe it's not. Path to Exile entered the revealed cards zone. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and fetch a Sacred Foundry, get it right out of the way. Play our Eidolon, and attack with Goblin Guide. Island. Sure. Path to Exile on Eidolon. Sure. I'm going to go ahead and do an Atarka's command right now. Do an Atarka's command turn here. Let's see. I think the plan is going to be I'm going to save this mountain. I'm going to let's attack first. See what they've got. Spell Snare. Wow. Okay. Do. Creatures get +1/+1 and deal 3 damage. Hiyo. Let's suspend a Rift Bolt. I know that they have Spell Snare, but they're going to be able to hit one of these anyway. We got to find a turn where they tap out. That's a good one. Not what I wanted to see. But we've got our opponent at 5, essentially. Land isn't the best. Okay. So we know about this Spell Snare, so I really just want them to tap out. Spreading Seas. That's actually totally fine, because we have this Bloodstained Mire to go fetch another Sacred Foundry if we want it. I guess it might have been right to fire off this Helix here. Let's end step. Not a lot of cards in the deck that don't kill our opponent. So let's end step Tarka's command, deal 3 damage to each opponent, and can't gain life, I guess. And this is going to eat the Spell Snare. So we could draw a Boros Charm that will make me wish I had fetched. I think we... Okay. Well, the Coddle is okay. I was really kind of hoping to hit a burn spell there. We could Helix upstairs right now. That plays around Snapcaster. I think I'd rather still just wait. This could be a Supreme Verdict. Explosives for one. That's pretty good. Not a great draw. Da. See, the thing is, we gotta do this. I don't like giving them the Goblin Guide trigger, but we gotta force them to use their stuff here. Use their explosives. Um, do I go ahead and Lightning Helix right now? Put my opponent to 2. I think I will. It's bad against another Spreading Seas, but I think that's okay. I'd like to get this all done before before they get their Snapcaster. There's the Spreading Seas. Okay. Rift Bolt is actually a pretty good draw. It's really bad against Mana Leak. Kind of makes me wish I'd played this Copperline Gorge. But the reason I didn't, of course, is Searing Blaze. I don't really feel like giving them the chance to untap is a way that we're winning this game. I think I'm just going to try and cast it. Not exactly sure why I tapped like that, but I did. Sure. Yeah. You know, it's a possibility, but I don't think, like, if they untap here with Snapcaster and all kinds of goodies, then I don't think it gets better for us. Okay. So now we need to wait for a point where they might tap out again. I feel like they're thinking about playing a Jace, but don't quite want to yet. That's a good one. I mean, kind of. It's going to... Oh, it's going to get pathed. Okay. That's cool. Um... All of Omens was great here. This is definitely like an anti-aggro blue-white build. Colonnade gets in. So now seems like a good time to deal 3 damage and opponents can't gain life. This runs into that Snapcaster mage that we know about, but it saves us 4 damage on the Colonnade attack. And now our opponent's tapped out, so a burn spell kills him. That doesn't count. So now it'll be tough. However, they can't use fetch lands Here comes the colonnade again. But I have to imagine they have Cryptic Command in their hand. Okay. As far as things that I did not expect to have happen, that is definitely one of them. Holy mackerel. Their hand must have been really bad. Okay. Let's get Searing Blaze out of here. I don't think I want Relic of Progenitus. I don't think I want Destructive Revelry. I don't think I want Ancient Grud. I think I do want Bloodbraid because the game's going to go pretty long, probably. And usually in these instances, you cut like a Rift Bolt. The problem is, like, I want to have a high amount of cards I can rip off the top there, especially if they're running Spell Snares. Like, Rift Bolt's pretty good. I think I'm going to cut a Lightning Helix. Weird that I think that Rift Bolt is better than Lightning Helix, but it is a 1 mana spell, and you don't have to have white for it. I think we are good to go here. I don't really want a path. I don't think Relic of Progenitus is the way to go. Also, I guess I could have cut a land, but I don't like bringing in a 4-drop and then cutting a land. This hand's not great, but it's a keep, I think. Swift Spear is super good. It's tough when they have Wall of Omens in their deck, but Swift Spear is a good card. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. Alright, so I'm gonna lead with Mountain. Yeah, I'm gonna lead with Mountain here. Um, the reason being, if our opponent has Spreading Seas, it hits a Mountain instead of Copperline Gorge. Opponent deciding on whether or not to path this, probably? Luckily, we got lots of mountains. Okay. So, getting pathed was kind of good for us there. Let's suspend a Rift Bolt. Don't especially feel like I want to walk this Lava Spike into a Mana Leak. So we can hang on to it. Luckily, we've got another green source and another white source rolled up here, so we don't have to worry about Spreading Seas too badly. Spell Queller. That's interesting. So we can kill that pretty easily. Alright, I'm going to play Stomping Ground. We're going to Bloodbraid. I'm pretty happy with a block here. If my opponent blocks, then we get to Rift Bolt them. Still got a mountain. Field of Ruin. So we only kind of got this one shot with our Boros Charm. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm a little wary of either another Spell Queller or a Vendilion Click. So I'm gonna play a land. I'm gonna lob a Spike. This looks like a Celestial Purge. Seemed like good a time as any to uh, get this Rift Bolt out of here. I think I'm okay with hanging on to the Boros Charm. And now we're in top deck mode. Because, like I said, because of that Field of Ruin, we've only got one shot with our Boros Charm, unless they have to tap out, and in which case their Field of Ruin isn't open. Darkest Command is a okay draw. We don't have Searing Blaze in the deck anymore, so I'm good to go ahead and just drop all the lands I draw. We got 7 points of damage in hand, ready to go. One card on bottom and one card on top. So there's all the damage we need, as long as we can get them all to resolve. Opponent's still not doing anything. We really have no reason to do anything. There's a reason to do something right there. Let's go ahead and start this train. Wow, Bloodbraid Elf has been good this game. This is a Settle the Wreckage? Lucky for us, our opponent's dead. Deal 4 damage to you. Deal 3 damage to you. Woo! Okay. Bloodbraid Elf is sweet. Alright. Round 2. Alright, we won the roll. It's a good place to be. We got a Goblin Guide on the play. I think I'm actually going to play the Nicatl first. Is that right? No, that's not right. Maybe it's right. I'll feel very silly if I go Nicatl and then next turn draw a Copperline Gorge. This is definitely the downside with the Nicatl plan. However, we get to attack for 7 next turn if we draw a fetch land. So let's just like be gangsta. Like, I didn't sleeve up Burn to be like conservative. Sure. Oh, we did it. Oh, we did it. That's It's game! So what's so good about Wild and Coddle in this matchup is that this bolt turns into Searing Blaze because I have Wild and Coddle in play. So, okay, Thalia's Lieutenant is totally beatable. Hierarch, sure. Ugh, brutal. Okay. Um, the plan here is attack with everything. They have to block. We have 7 points rolled up. I'd like to actually bolt the lieutenant. Let's get in for a ton of damage. Guess we knew about the Ollie's lieutenant. Mantis Rider, sure. No really good blocks for our opponent here. This was a pretty busted draw. I'm not gonna lie. And now I'd rather just play a Nakadal again. And now we've got 10 points of damage in play, plus another 4 in our hand. They can play 2 blockers. So this will be a Mantis Rider. This better not be a freebooter. Okay. Weird that they played it like that. I think they could have made their Thalia's Lieutenant a 2-2. Oh boy. Oh boy. We got some stuff happening. So we're going to go ahead and Boros Charm. We don't need to show them Atarka's command. This is 9. Alright, so that went extremely well. We drew fantastically. In the sideboard, Searing Blaze, Searing Blood, yes please to all of you. I don't like Eidolon on the draw. It does not attack or block that well. And let's play a path. Hand looks great. We're going to keep it. Lavamancer on the play. Or no, we're on the draw, but Lavamancer is super good. Horizon Canopy Vial, sure. Tough call. I think I want to get Lavamancer in play, though. Thalia would be really good against us here. Auriok Champion. Shit. Okay. So attacking looks a little bit out of the question here. Let's go ahead and Sacred Foundry. And suspend a Rift Bolt. You know what? I'm just going to Lava Spike too. Bolts, like hanging on the bolt doesn't really help me out. I guess it does if my opponent has exactly Mantis Rider and a third land. Phantasmal Image. Oh boy. That is really not good for us. I don't think we can get through this. We'll see. You know, Atarka's command actually helps here quite a bit. Ooh. And that one path would be pretty solid too. Opponent is getting aggressive. No interest in blocking. This Rift Bolt's going upstairs. Pretty safe to just lob a spike. Nah, you know what? I don't think we're getting much better targets than Thalio's lieutenant here. So got a lot of damage. Got 8 between Lavamancer activation and Lava Spike and Bolt. That's bad. That's also very bad. Okay, humans player. I think you got us. Lava Spike you! Haha. Wow. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We lose. Okay, so basically, if it wasn't for Oriok Champion, I think we win that game very easily. Our hand was super good, and we had a million points of damage, plus Searing Blood, plus the Lavamancer. Oriok Champion was pretty solid, though. The problem is we don't really have a lot in the board that can fight it. So I think we're just gonna keep rolling with this. Wild Nikadal does help. Atarka's Command helps. Can't really keep this, I don't think. I mean, obviously a fetch land off the top was just like brutal and we probably win very easily, but I don't think it's good enough. It's pretty close though. Maybe I should. Nah, I think I'm gonna ship this one. Okay, we can work with this. We can work with this. Keep. I am not going to worry about a Wild Nikadal. I'm still just gonna, well, I'm still just gonna Rift Bolt on turn 1 here. So it doesn't matter. I guess maybe I should leave it on top in case Moto is bugged. Stomping Ground, suspend a Rift Bolt, ship the turn. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We get to Searing Blood that thing. Upstairs with you. It's going to be a Sacred Foundry, even though we have to go to 14. It's definitely the right thing to do. Okay. Searing effects are pretty good. Don't love that we don't have any more lands in hand in case we draw Searing Blaze. Ugh. Okay. Alright. Well, let's see. So, do I suspend the Rift Bolt here? Got 3, 6, 9, 13 damage in hand. I think I just say go for now. You know what? That was probably wrong. Champion, sure. I actually think I'm going to use a Tarkus command right now. Can't gain life and deal 3 damage. This looks a lot like our opponent is going to play another Champion of the Parish this turn. And so if I'm going to do this, I want to gain 2 life. Or prevent them gaining 2 life. Okay. That's not the worst either. Pretty safe to suspend a Rift Bolt here. So we should be good with any 2-mana burn spell here. I mean, they don't have anything that they're playing this turn, clearly, because they would have played it pre-combat because of the champion. We actually have enough to kill them. The Rift Bolt comes off suspend. Even if Searing Blaze only does 1 damage, we can still kill them. So let's go ahead and fetch for a mountain. Okay. Well, I stand corrected. Very interesting. Doesn't really change our plan at all. Come on, burn spell. That counts. Ugh. Okay. Not gonna lie, that hand was very, very good. But the Tarkus command was great. It was basically like a 5-point burn spell because, well, 4, but it preventing them from gaining life was really good. We didn't draw any creatures that game. That worked out perfectly against Auriok Champion. All right, next round. On the play again for round 3. I'm not going to say no to this. It's not the best. I think it's okay. I'm going to Sacred Foundry first. Let's see. Probably with a... Oh, it doesn't matter which fetch land at all. They all do the same thing. I'm going to Sacred Foundry first. I do want to get some lands in my graveyard for Grim Lavamancer. Cinderglade. So we are playing against Valakut, which is not a matchup I love, but what is cool is that they have to discard now. Discard a Valakut, okay. So, let's play Wooded Foothills. See if anything changes when we attack here. They reveal something like a Courser of Crufix or some crap like that. Okay, just another Cinderglade. Just loading up our opponent's graveyard here. Lavamancer. So I think we're going to win this game pretty handily as long as this is not a tri-builder. Okay, I think we should be good. We're gonna go ahead and end step, get a stomping ground. I want to use this Atarka's command to pump the team while we can. I guess no reason not to just play another fetch land. Deal 3 damage, and creatures you control get +1/+1. So now our opponent's at 8. So as long as they don't have a blocker, then we are good to go. Or some source of damage. What did we reveal here? Farseek. There's a Cinderglade. Another Farseek, so that should do it. Being on the play was solid. Gonna attack first, see if we make them reveal something interesting. Yeah, no. White, red, deal 4. Deal 2. Alright. I think I want the Blood Braids. I think I don't want the Searing Blazes, even though Searing Blaze actually... Searing Blaze is actually kind of good against Tri-Builder. And lots of times they'll bring in some other stuff too. They have Blood Braids. What's bad? What is bad? Helix is pretty bad. With this list, it's really tough to get below, to stay above 18 damage, or 18 life. So even if you draw a Helix, like, still, I'll probably be at 18 most of the time. So I don't think that's really that realistic. Eidolon seems okay still. I think we can actually cut a Lavamancer and maybe a Nacatl. They're gonna have a lot more. They're gonna have a lot more removal, anger of the gods kind of stuff against us this time. So creatures might not be able to get through in the ground as easily. I'm not interested in Destructive Revelry. They might have Leyline. I don't think that that's a real winning proposition. And I don't think I want Path either. This Path is pretty good against Courser. We're going to give this a try. Pain looks fantastic. I like that. Unless they have Bolt, which they don't, then we get at least 2 points out of this Goblin Guide. Wow, we got a lot of damage. Windswept Heath revealed. So, I mean, this looks a lot like a Lightning Bolt, which makes me think I'd want to not use this Goblin Guide, not attack with it, but Like, we have to make them use it. Search for tomorrow. Okay. They do have a bolt. Okay. What we'd really like to draw is a Tarka's Command. There's a Tribe Elder. And a Forest and a Search for Tomorrow. Yep. How much do we care about staying above 18? I think we can't do it. Um, it only matters if you're above 18 with Scape Shift, and I don't think it's going to come into play at all here. I want to get this Boros Charm off. So if we draw an Tarka's Command, then we should pretty much have it sealed up. Mountain is not a Tarka's Command. Also, now it looks like we could have actually played above the bad life total. You know what? Playing a land would have been better there. Or an Arid Mesa would have been better there, because just a thin. Search for Tomorrow still on suspend for one. I think we've got like one turn. As long as they don't have Obstinate Baloth, then we should have a shot. Tapping a lot of mana real fast. That's not good. Also, like, I could use these bolts on the Baloth, but that's just not gonna be. That's just not our plan. So now our opponent's at 10. Baloth's pretty nice. Let's just go ahead and play this Arid Mesa. Land plus Scape Shift kills us. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We're done. We're done. Don't want any of that. Okay. So now we get to be on the play, and it looks like, well, they probably have Anger of the Gods and all that jazz, but mostly we're really depending on these Atarka's commands. Let's do... Yeah, let's get rid of the Searing Blazes, actually. Yep. Yep, pretty good. Only thing that would be better would be obviously a Atarka's command here. And of course, this Blood Braid with 2 lands isn't the best, but I mean, gives us some insurance. We have some good plays even if we flood out. Okay. Pretty safe to just go ahead and get a Sacred Foundry. Again, we're not even attempting to stay above 17. So let's see what our opponent does here. Tribal there. Yep. Pretty clear play from our side. Just gonna get a mountain. Spike ya. Attack. So now, if they don't have land Baloth, we're in pretty good shape. If they have land Baloth, we are in not as good shape. If they just go Baloth into Thragtusk, then it's going to be real rough. Again, we don't have Tarka's Command. That would help us out immensely. Interesting that they got a mountain. Either means that they have a forest in hand, or that they are not planning on playing Baloth. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to just get a forest there. I like that. Sure. So now with this Bloodbraid, I think we should be all set. There isn't a ton that we can actually hit that doesn't kill our opponent here. I guess a Nakatl. Goblin Guide works for us. Okay. Fair enough. Time for round 4. Alright, they keep letting us win the die roll. And we keep getting Goblin Guides in our openers. Yeah, this is definitely a keep. Not exactly sure what the play is going to be. The problem with going, like, you know, crack fetch, take 2, I'm Conley Woods, right on down, and then playing, like, doing that twice, and then Eidolon, and then another Eidolon. Like, we're going to kill ourselves, but I'm going to go ahead and get a Stomping Ground and play a Nakatl. Forest. Utopia Sprawl. So what's awkward is I have to get a Sacred Foundry. I guess I could get a Sacred Foundry tapped and play Goblin Guy. How silly is that? No, that's actually super bad. So we have to get a Sacred Foundry. And we have to play Eidolon. And then attack here. I guess another option would have been to play the Boros Charm, because we could be facing a Blood Moon this turn. Bolt on the Eidolon. Okay. I actually don't mind that. and an Arbor Elf. Oh boy. So our opponent's going to have a lot of mana, in spite of everything. Again, we could try to play... Wow, like I've got a lot of direct damage to kill that elf with, but not any of it in our hand. I think it's going to be Goblin Guide Eidolon, and again, like, we just kind of have to get through it if it's a Blood Moon. Don't love the prospect of Goblin Guide. However, I mean, I don't really care if they draw an extra card. Like, I would love it if we can make them not draw a land here. Birds of Paradise sounds good, especially with this Eidolon in play. Okay, so a Blood Moon would put them to 8. A concession would make them lose pretty much on the spot. What are we bringing in here? I might actually just hit submit here. Like maybe Path. They don't have ley lines. They do have 4 Utopia Sprawl and 4 Blood Moon. We might be able to nab a Blood Moon with a Destructive Revelry. That's the card I'm thinking about playing, is Destructive Revelry. And maybe taking out Helix. No, Helix is actually okay because of the Arbor Elves that I want to shoot. Maybe I need to go up on Searing Blaze and Searing Blood and take out Helix that way. And we might be okay without Eidolon. Like, this list that I'm looking at has 1 Courser in the main, and that's it. So I think we're gonna roll with this. It's really all about the birds and elves. This sure gets in for a lot of damage, and we're on the draw, and we can kill an Arbor Elf if we want to. I am gonna keep it. Real Sketcher. But on the draw, I definitely like... I like how this hand is pretty immune to Blood Moon. I like how we can kill an Arbor Elf if we want to. And also, like, we have a pretty significant, like, pretty crazy good nut draw if we want it. If we draw well here. Lava Spike doesn't really help. Also, the fact that they fetched a Stomping Ground is a little interesting to me. That they might be looking for lands. But the thing is, Goblin Guide doesn't really help you find lands. It only helps you find spells. Ugh. That's not good. That is not good. At least they can't play it. Just gonna straight up... Oh, God. Okay. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. They have a bunch of Stone Rains in their deck. Okay. Alright. So as long as they can't cast any spells for the rest of the game, we should be good. Please just say go. That's... I know that's what you want to do, is just say go here. So why don't you just go ahead and do it. Arbor Elf plus a Bolt, maybe? A Braid. Okay. Well, we're not winning if they untap. I would have much rather liked to have cast Searing Blaze there, obviously, but what can you do? The fact that they've named red with that Utopia Sprawl is screwing them over so bad. Not that they're gonna lose, but... Alright. The most anemic beatdowns. This thing's getting bolted as well. Sure. The good news is that, well, they keep missing land. Well, they were missing land drops. I wonder if they go for a Blood Moon. Oh, Bloodbraid? Okay. It's Corsair. I think I'm pretty safe to concede here. Oh, there's the Blood Moon. Okay. So I guess I shouldn't keep one-landers against the land destruction deck. That's probably a thing. That being said, also Path seems good if they're bringing in Kitchen Finks. Let's cut a Searing Blood. I don't think I want my own Blood Braids because I, again, can't rely on getting up to that much mana. Nope. I'm gonna mulligan that one. We need like 2 fetch lands for this to be good. But if we get it, it is good. Kind of. I'm gonna roll with it. Fetch land on top, sure. Okay. Stomping Ground. So now I'm pretty happy with the fetch land, and I'm pretty happy with any spell other than a Boros Charm. I think we cut Lightning Helix. Let me look at the sideboard. Maybe you didn't. Yeah, we cut the Lightning Helixes. I think I'm going to do this because I expect this to get bolted. Didn't get bolted. Okay. And I'm not interested in playing around Anger of the Gods. If they have it, they have it. A quick sacrifice. Yep. Fair enough. Alright. So we got enough lands to cast our spells here. If our opponent has something like Finks or Baloth, then we can at least make them not gain life. We don't have Bloodbraid in the deck. Well, I guess we might as well do this. Oh, we don't. Shit. That was silly then. Okay. I was gonna go get a Stomping Ground, but I actually don't have another one anyway, so. Okay. I mean, if we're gonna win this, this is how. Another anger. Don't love it, but whatever. And they've also cut themselves off of being able to cast Kitchen Finks. Gonna save that in case I draw Searing Blaze, which I have 3 of. Bloodbraid into a Stone Rain. Okay. So, that seems pretty bad, but we got plenty of lands, and now we have a Searing Blaze target. So basically, you just need to draw perfect for the rest of the game. And our opponents did not find any more lands. Sometimes, things just work out. Even though we're not going to win this game, that was pretty tight. Single green for a bird. Is this another Stone Rain of some sort? Sure. So I don't like that. That means double green. Which of course means Kitchen Finks and all kinds of nonsense I want nothing to do with. Well, they were drawing the forest anyways, so here comes a Thragtusk? No. This gotta be Kitchen Finks or Corsair here, right? Okay. Do I bolt the bird? I don't think so. Alright, friend, you're at 2. Hope you don't have another Stone Rain or something. But we've got Lava Spikes, Bolts. Okay. Okay. They don't have to block this time, but they will have to block next time. I don't know what their last card could be. It is possible that I should have just held that. Okay. This is the craziest game. There's no way I'm winning this, right? Like, here comes the Kitchen Finks. Nope. That's game. I needed a lot of things to go right there. Really lucky today, man. Yep, not bad. I needed a lot of things to go right there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Can't believe it. It's got a blood moon in another land. Yeah. Well, send me another message. Jesus. Yeah, I'll let you know when I feel bad for you, friend. Alright. 4-0. Let's see if we can close this off. Okay, we're back for round 5 after That marathon unwinnable game from last round. Hand looks pretty good. Not the best while in the coddle draw. But again, another a fetch land puts us right in business. Also, Wild and Coddle is way better on the play than it is on the draw. Goblin Guide will almost always get in, not almost always, but lots of times will get in for 2 damage no matter what, if you're on the play or on the draw. Wild and Coddle on the draw is not at its best. Okay. So that's obviously scary. Like, I think in theory this is a good matchup. We hit our fetch land, so that's great. In theory, this is a good matchup. When they're on the play and have turn 1 expedition map, that's not good for us. Ghost Quarter, I actually think that that's great for us because it turns them off of Tron for a turn. 2 mana. What is happening? Chalice on 1? Oh my god. What in the hell? Oh no. Brutal. Well, we had a good run, folks. That's really bad. I think that the normal Tron matchup is fine. This looks a lot like Eldrazi Tron instead, and that's no fun. They still have a lot of life gain stuff, but they've got, in addition to that, they've got like Thought Seer, Reality Smasher clocks the hell out of you. They have some really good top end stuff. So unlike when I was talking about Jund last time, this is a bad time for this deck. While Tron is way better. What? Okay, okay. All we gotta do is draw 3 consecutive 2 mana burn spells. Yeah. I mean, we could test them with Chalice, see if they click yes or no. I would do that in real life, and Magic Online is not a good plan. Urza's Mine. This is a worm coil. I kind of hope it is. I really hope that we actually just get completely destroyed this game. Thought Not Seer. You're gonna like what you see. Sometimes I like it when they play a Thought Not Seer and they can't take anything, and then there's just a 4/4 that says when this dies, your opponent draws a card. That is definitely the downside to Thought Not Seer. Lightning Bolt entered the exile zone. That's a good place for it. Another one! Sure! Well, the good news is we only have 2 turns to live. Not sure what I could have drawn there. Okay. So, between this matchup and the Valakut matchup, and that Ponza matchup, I'm really starting to think that I need some copies of Molten Rain in the sideboard. Path is going to be great. Destructive Revelry, of course, is awesome. And outside of that, nothing I really love. I think we're cutting Helix and Searing Blaze. I don't think Searing Blaze really does enough for us. Don't want Relic of the Progenitus. Lexodon Smiter would be cute, but we don't actually get to, like, we don't have any I mean, we have the one path to hit a Reality Smasher with. And on the play, I think Eidolon is fine. Maybe on the draw, I would go into Bloodbraid mode. I don't think I want the searing effects. I think we just want to get busy. Yeah, this is a fine hand. My plan is to Swift Spear on one, and then Eidolon on two. But alternatively, we could play Nakatl on one, and then Swift Spear Lava Spike on two to play around Chalice. That might actually be a better route. Might be a better route. Classic theory for Sly back in the day, back in 1996, 5 or whatever. The Sly deck, when you played, you'd have a handful of 1 drops, 2 drops, and 3 drops. And your best plays were usually, your curve was mostly, yeah, I think I'm going to go with that play with Nakatl. Play around Chalice here. So your deck was like 50% 1 drops, 30% 2 drops, 20% 3 drops, right? Well, that actually changes my play a little bit here. Now we're going to Eidolon and get in. Because now I'm not actually worried about a Chalice. Spatial Contortion on the Eidolon. Eidolon is really good. Coddle into Swift Spear. I think that's probably the play. Alternatively, I could Swift Spear into Lava Spike. That might be the better route. So I'm a little wary of Worm Coil Engine. A little concerned about that one. I guess a reason to have played Wild Coddle there was that it uses a green mana. Okay, what was I getting at before? Old school slide decks, right? 50% 1 drops-ish, 30% 2 drops, 20% 3 drops or something. You wanted more cheap stuff than you did expensive stuff because you want to use your mana every turn, all of it. So on turn 1, when you play 1 drop, land 1 drop, on turn 2, you have the option of playing a 2 drop or 2 1 drops, right? Why it's important to play a 2 drop, even if 1 drop is better, is because the next turn you're gonna have ooh, 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 ooh. Well, our opponent doesn't know it, but they have to block. Otherwise, the Darkest Command destroys them. And that will make our Lavamancer a lot better. Okay, so you got your hand as 1 drops and 2 drops and 3 drops, right? If you so on turn 3, if you don't have a 3 drop in your hand, right? You want to have enough 1 drops to play so you can go 2 and a 1. Kind of forget what I'm talking about here, but you guys get the idea. Using the more expensive card in your hand, in theory, is the better play. Then, right? It's better for me to play 2 or to play a 2-drop than it is to play two 1-drops. My opponent's going after my face. Worst case scenario here is a Thought Not Seer, but our opponent's at 7, and we have a bunch of stuff. I could Atarka's Command, which would put them to 3. I think I'm more interested in Lavamancer. Thought Not Seer would be bad for us, but they can't cast any artifacts or enchantments or else they lose. And this way we get another creature on the board. And we have a super out of drawing a fetch land here. I think Ballista for 2. You would assume that's really good, but in reality, I think you are dead, friend. Now, no matter what they block, I get to kill him soundly. Deal 3 damage and +1/+1. So that hand went pretty well. Okay, on the draw, I think Eidolon comes out. And I plan more for the long game with Bloodbraid, and I might want another Helix. Yeah. Okay. So your hand, we've got 2 2-drops, right? And 2 1-drops. And it's turn 2. If you play 1-drop, 1-drop, even though maybe it's better because like those cards are Searing Spears and Lightning Bolts, even though it does more damage, the next turn, if you don't draw anything, then you're going to play a land and have 3 mana and only be able to play a 2 mana spell, and you'll have 1 mana that goes unused. It is better for you to play a 2 mana spell on turn 2, and then the next turn, 2 mana and a 1 to make 3. So, using your spells that cost more mana saves you mana in the long run. What the hell am I talking about? What am I doing? Anyway, should I bring Ancient Grudge in? I don't think so. Geodestructive Revelry again. On the draw, we have Goblin Guide. We have the Revelry. We got a Bolt. I think this is a keep. I don't love it. We obviously can lose very easily. This video is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be me top decking like crazy and getting extremely lucky for 4 rounds. And then in the 5th round, I went into this crazy rant about how to play Sly with all the really terrible cards from Homelands. Eee, opponent's mulliganing a lot. When my opponent mulligans, it always makes me wish that I had been more aggressive mulliganing. Like if I'm keeping like a pretty sketchy hand, maybe like a 1 or 2 lander. But with Burn, it's like, it doesn't matter how many cards they have. We did it! I think I'm going to play this Stomping Ground. And I'm going to start with Nakatl rather than Goblin Guide. The reason is just because they mulligan a million times. Chalice on 1, you got it. How in the world will I beat this Chalice on one? No, I don't need to do that right now. This could be a really good 5 card hand if they go Tron land like Worm Coil here or something. That would be outstanding for them. Also, when your opponent has Chalice of the Void in play, it makes a lot more sense to cast 2 drops than 2 1 drops in one turn. Yeah, just in case you're wondering. I'm not F6, am I? Okay. Opponent, come on, you mulligan to 5. It's game 3. I'm 4-0. I'm gonna Destructive Revelry that stupid Chalice, and then I'm gonna start attacking your dome for a million bajillion damage, and just like work with me here, you know? I kept a really sketchy hand, and it all worked out. Just give me this. Just give me this, opponent. Stevie Lynx. My opponent has decided that they don't want to play anymore. So, they had in play a Chalice on 1 and 2 lands. I don't know what could possibly be in their hand that they're not like, okay, we're good here. Because before, I had a hand of all 1 drops. This Chalice might shut off my entire deck. The only thing that they're facing down, that they know that they're facing down, is a single 3/3 creature. So, I mean, there have been some early concessions by my opponents, but that's just unreal. Okay. Anyway, that went really well, I would say. Let's look at this deck again. I'm looking at it, and Path is garbage. I think that it's important in like Ancient Grudge. I didn't even want to bring it in. I think it's important that I cut a few cards for Molten Rain. I loved Bloodbraid. Bloodbraid was super good, and I'm really actually thrilled with how that worked out. Um, the Searing effects were great too. I never boarded that in, and it would have been hilarious. But let's be real. Um, I think that I might cut like maybe these 2 Ancient Grudge or something like that for Molten Rains. We played against 3 decks that Molten Rain would have been lights out against, and that is a big deal. Like you just in theory, you just have a really good matchup against big mana decks. You know, just intrinsically, just cheap creatures, don't care about interacting, uh, always going to be faster than them. But in practice, you still like need some help out of the sideboard because there's so many cards that they can bring in that are good against you. Chalices, Obstinate Baloths, stuff like that. So there's always a chance that you just lose. I mean, with this deck, there's always a chance you just lose to anything. But Molten Rain is super good. It's really just does exactly what you are hoping for a card to do. So I think in the future we'll probably maybe cut even 3 cards. Well, the Smiter obviously, Smiter, Grudge, and Path, and cut those out for Molten Rains. And maybe Ancient Grudge becomes another Searing effect, or maybe another Lavamancer. That would be because we're still worried about the humans matchup and like affinity and stuff like that. So, all right. I hope you guys had fun watching. This was really sweet. I'm gonna, like I said, Burn is like my backup deck, and Jund is like my main character. So I'll be doing Burn every once in a while, but mostly Jund. And then also, I think I'm gonna be playing some Hearthstone coming up pretty quick here. Show you my theories on Hearthstone if you're interested in that. I don't play as much Hearthstone as I do Magic, so bear with me there. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.